An Iranian state television presenter, a woman who has spent her entire career praising the supreme leader, sat down in front of the camera today. And she wept. Not because she was sad, she was announcing his death. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the man who ruled Iran for 37 years, who called America the Great Satan, who swore he would never surrender, is dead. Killed by a joint US-Israeli military strike on his own office in Tehran. This is the most consequential assassination of a world leader in a generation. And you need to understand exactly what just happened. On Saturday, February 28th, the United States and Israel launched a coordinated strike across 24 Iranian provinces simultaneously. Over 201 people were killed in the first wave alone, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. Among the first targets, Khamenei's own office, Leadership House, in central Tehran. Verified videos from witnesses near the building showed enormous plumes of black smoke rising directly above it. One person in the crowd said what everyone was thinking. They hit it hard. They're saying it's Khamenei's residence. Initially, Iran tried to contain the story. State news agencies Tasnim and Mehr rushed out statements saying the supreme leader was steadfast and firm, still commanding in the field. Iran moved him to a secure location. But the intelligence had already tracked him. Trump wrote on Truth Social within hours, "He was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems. Working closely with Israel, there was not a thing he, or the other leaders killed along with him, could do." By Sunday, Iranian state television confirmed it. Khamenei was dead. But here's what nobody expected. When the news broke inside Iran, some people didn't grieve. They celebrated. CNN. Verified footage of Iranians celebrating in the streets of Tehran following the announcement of Khamenei's death. Cheers were heard. People flooded outside despite the ongoing strikes, the air raid sirens, and the smoke still rising over the city. For millions of Iranians, especially young people who have known no other leader their entire lives, this was a moment they had only ever whispered about. But on state television, the contrast was devastating. A presenter, her voice cracking, tears streaming, read out the announcement of his death live on air to a nation. The same network that had broadcast his image on a loop for decades. The same channel that had plastered his face on every billboard in every city. Now announcing he was gone. A 40-day mourning period has been declared. Schools and universities remain closed. Banks are operating. Government offices running at 50% capacity. Iran's Supreme National Security Council vowed a crushing response, saying the strikes occurred once again during negotiations. Now let's talk about who Khamenei actually was, because understanding the man explains exactly why the world is reacting the way it is right now. Born in 1939 in Mashhad, northeast Iran, Ali Khamenei grew up eating nothing but bread and raisins, the son of a poor cleric. He qualified as a cleric himself by age 11. By his 30s, he had been arrested 6 times by the Shah's secret police, tortured, and sent into internal exile. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, he rose rapidly, becoming president in 1981 after surviving a bomb hidden in a tape recorder that exploded as he delivered a lecture. The blast permanently destroyed the use of his right arm. In 1989, with Iran's founder Khomeini dying, the Assembly of Experts selected Khamenei as supreme leader, despite his own admission that he was just a minor seminarian. What followed was 37 years of iron control. He crushed the 1999 student protests. He shot protesters in the street in 2019, shutting down the internet to hide it. After Mahsa Amini's death in 2022, his forces killed over 550 people and detained 20,000 more in a single crackdown. 6,488 protesters were killed in the January 2026 uprising alone, just weeks before his own death. He bathed his people in death to America rhetoric for 4 decades. He called nuclear weapons un-Islamic, while his country enriched uranium to 60% purity. He warned Trump just last month, if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war. He was wrong. And now the question the entire world is asking. The question that will define the next decade of Middle Eastern history. Who runs Iran now? Iran has had only 2 supreme leaders since 1979. Khamenei held ultimate authority over every branch of government: the military, judiciary, the Revolutionary Guards, the media. He hand-picked candidates. He vetoed policy. He controlled everything. Barbara Slavin of the Stimson Center told Al Jazeera, "There will probably be a council set up to run the country. It may already have been running the country, as far as we know." Trump called it the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. He signaled that heavy strikes would continue throughout the week, or, quote, as long as necessary. Netanyahu declared that many senior Revolutionary Guard commanders and nuclear officials had also been eliminated, and added simply, "And we will continue." At the UN Security Council emergency meeting, Iran's ambassador called it a war crime and a crime against humanity. The US ambassador fired back. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That is not politics. That is global security. Russia condemned the strikes as reckless. China said it was very concerned. The UN Secretary-General warned that military action risks igniting a chain of events that no one can control. Fareed Zakaria called Khamenei's death a watershed moment for the world. Here is where history stands tonight. The man who ruled Iran longer than most of his citizens have been alive is gone. His country's nuclear program is in ruins. His military commanders are dead. His cities are burning. And his own people are celebrating in the streets, while Iranian state TV wept. But the Revolutionary Guard is still fighting. The missiles are still flying over Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE. The war is not over. Trump says the strikes continue. Netanyahu says we will continue. And Iran says the response will be crushing. The supreme leader is dead. The question now, the one that will shape the next decade, is what rises in his place. Stay with this channel as this story develops in real time. Subscribe and hit the bell. Because right now, history isn't in the textbooks. It's happening live.